Let's talk about China. Last year, in 2019, CNBC wrote that 1 out of 5 North American corporations that they surveyed say that China has stolen their company's intellectual property within the last year. Nearly a third surveyed say that Chinese firms have stolen from them over the past decade. That would mean that China has been stealing corporate America's intellectual property since 2009. That's the same year that Joe Biden became our vice president and spearheaded American efforts with China. The Trump administration is taking a strong stance to protect our intellectual property. They've shut the Chinese consulate in Houston for stealing trade secrets, among other offenses. We watched as Chinese diplomats tried to burn incriminating evidence before leaving. Another Chinese researcher was arrested after she tried to hide in the consulate in San Francisco and was later revealed to be a member of the Chinese military. 3 other Chinese researchers were also arrested in California and Indiana, and the Justice Department described a larger network that spanned 25 cities. China is very actively trying to steal from us, build profiles on us, and overtake us in global dominance. What does Joe Biden think of China? This is from 2016, when he was our vice president and China was siphoning our intellectual property.
We're not trying to contain China. We're not trying to slow down Chinese growth. The growth of China is overwhelmingly in our interest.
In case you're wondering, he hasn't changed his position. He still defends China. This is from his presidential campaign just last year.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They can't even figure out how to deal with the fact that they have this great division between the China Sea and the mountains in the west. They can't figure out how they're going to deal with the corruption that exists within the system. They're not bad folks, but guess what? They're not competition for us.
They're not competition for us? Joe Biden voted to grant China most favored nation status for trade and also voted to include China in the World Trade Organization, which cost Americans millions of jobs. More recently, he defended China when President Trump pulled out of the World Health Organization when they protected China by trying to cover up the coronavirus rather than warn the world about it. The World Health Organization and Joe Biden criticized President Trump's travel ban on visitors from China, calling him xenophobic. Dr. Fauci has since said that move saved countless lives. Why would Joe Biden be so soft on China that he makes the wrong decision every single time and gives China a pass? Could it be because while Joe Biden was vice president, his son Hunter Biden landed a $1.5 billion deal with the Bank of China, a subsidiary of the Chinese government? Hunter Biden actually rode on Air Force Two in order to conduct his business dealings with China, paid for by American taxpayers, of course. Biden's soft on China because China bought him. He's done. They own him. End of story. This brings me to my point. Joe Biden isn't the Democratic candidate. He's the DC establishment candidate. He's the candidate for those in power who want to continue to abuse their power for their own financial benefit and profit themselves and their children. Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter. There's an old network in place where Democrats and Republicans work together to stay in power rather than working together to build America. Donald Trump has thrashed that method, and the good old establishment hates him for it. He's already crushed the establishment out of the Republican Party. Now he has to do it to the Democrat Party. Under Joe Biden, the wealthy elite of DC will get wealthier and more powerful because they will raise your taxes so they can sell American value to foreigners and pocket the payoff themselves. That's how it's worked for decades, and Trump demolished that structure. Not through diplomacy or any specific strategy, but by being Trump. He's just rich and plays by his own rules. He didn't need the DC establishment, and that is why they hate him. I'd love to hear your thoughts on current events. Send your comments to the show at weeklybriefing@oann.com. Remember to tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching.